Welcome, everyone. Welcome. Welcome to the teachings of Ma'at. This is our Stepping Out of the Matrix book study. I am Arcad Infinite. Welcome, everybody. My name is Arcad Infinite. I am the chairman of this book study. I am also the student of the master teacher, the great Tahuti Amenhotep Ra. I'm also a true-hearted follower of truth based on ancestral artifacts and a love of my people unconditionally. I am dedicated to Kemet and learning the Metal Netta and loyal to my aunt at all times. Next, we have the great brother Tahuti Mos. Tahuti Mos is humbled at the opportunity to be at home with my aunt. With the guidance of Tahuti Amenhotep Ra, the Saba Saba. His quest for truth, as they call it, has brought him to the facts. In his experience, he has learned and will continue to teach that everyone has the truth, but it is the facts in which the foundation of anything one bases his decisions on should rest. This statement has increased his ability to find his place in the cosmos, and that place is here with you as a student of Ma'at. His journey continues to be an interesting and exciting experience. It began in the truths of Catholicism, Christianity, and Hebrew Israelite religions. Realizing that these truths still left him with many unanswered questions and even more confused, he continued his quest and found the facts in Ma'at with the teachings of the Saba Tahuti Amenhotep Ra. He is home with our ancestors, Tua. His interest is first in his family and second in manipulating this matrix to his will. The rest is commentary. He is an ambassador for the teachings of Ma'at and hosts a weekly YouTube study. His other interests are in health and healing and investment vehicles and teaching the facts of this wonderful existence. In closing, he is very excited to be on this journey with you all. Peace through the world of Ma'at. As a student of Ma'at, we will continue to grow and learn together and be the best versions of ourselves on this earth as representatives of our ancestors. Hotep Ma'at. Next, we have our good brother Art. Art specializes in training and educating youth workers, counselors, and educators about art, culture, and history. He travels the world to experience how people live, and he shares it with everyone who is interested in learning from the research he has witnessed. Art has a master's degree in entertainment and media business and has been working in the music industry and with nonprofit agencies providing program planning and promoting concerts and community events in Madison for over 30 years. During that time, he has facilitated the following innovative after school programs for Madison School Community Recreation: Hip Hop 101, Music Production 101, and MP4 music programs for youth. He is also the secretary of the Teachings of Ma'at and host of this weekly book study. Next, we have the good brother Ahati Ma'at. Ahati Ma'at was taught under the great Tahuti Amenhotep Ra. He has been a serious student and teacher of Kemetic culture and history for several years. He has written multiple books, including the textbooks called Journey Through Your Soul series, essays, and articles. Furthermore, he hosts in person and online classes, weekly podcasts, and periodically creates documentaries. He also has experience in public speaking and academic debating. He is responsible for the creation of this weekly book study. And last but not least, we have the great brother and the presenter for today, the good scribe. Lamar the Scribe is a writer, poet, spoken word artist, and audio producer, engineer, healer, spiritual advisor, consultant, and business creator. He is a master student of the Natiru and a true follower and protector of Ma'at. The scribe of Tahuti and Ma'at, he studies under the master teacher Saba Tahuti Amenhotep Ra. For the scribe, quality always outweighs quantity. He enjoys observing reality and incorporating these observations into his writings and creations to assisting in the awakening of dormant DNA and reversing negative hypnosis. And the good brother scribe will be our presenter for tonight. Welcome, brothers. Welcome, welcome, welcome.
Hotep Ma'at. Peace.
Hotep, Hotep.
Uncle Ja
Hotep, brother.
Zanab.
Brothers. Brothers, I did not start with our affirmation, brothers. Our affirmations. Forgive me. You guys don't mind if I will do that, if
Do
Scott,
it.
if you want to put it up. My apologies, everyone. Everyone, we will start our class with our affirmation. Anki Ema'at un ns nintet aset Ema'ayat men hapapet Ema'ayat her ikutui her iku. I live for Ma'at. I exist within her. I do not speak in the place of Ma'at. Every day I advance towards Ma'at. My being is surrounded in darkness. I come forth as conscious light. Thank you. Thank you.
All right, I just want to say peace to the chat. Thank you for coming out tonight. We have a great speaker who's coming up next, the scribe, and he's going to take it away now.
All right, Hotep Ma'at to everyone. Peace and love to the chat. Shout out to JMO X, Heka Kepara, we see you. Shimbo Shane, peace to you. Peace to you. All right, so we're going to go ahead and get started. And I'm going to share my screen to the book Step Out of the Matrix, where we will begin to take off where we left off. Let's see. All right, good brothers. Let me know if you can see this. Can my
Yes, we can
screen be
see it.
seen? Okay, all
Yes.
right. Thank you.
God is scribe.
All right, peace, peace. All right, so we're going to start right here. So first, I want you to ask yourself, what is a popular term for our hair? When we have it in an afro, most people call that a natural, right? Natural look. Well, look back up to the chart above at the word for God, and you will see that the word neter, and it said neteru, which is where the word nature comes from. This is why our hair in its original state is called natural. A little internet test: if you have a computer, type in pics of neteru and watch what comes up. You will see Google will try and self-correct the word. It will say pics of nature. Even the computer is programmed to know that the closest word to neteru is nature. When one remains in a very natural state, it is called supernatural, which is why they say God is a supernatural being. Now ask yourself, if God is supernatural and we are in the image of God and our hair in its original state of beauty is called a natural, then what are we really saying about ourselves when we perm it and we take it out of its natural state? That's an excellent question to reflect on. Our hair was what genetically identified us as gods on this earth. Yes, we were called gods in the current day Bible, but yet never called gods in the church sermon. Right? So even in the Bible, we're recognized as gods. So here, Psalms 82:6. I have said, ye are gods, and all of you are children of the Most High. John 10:33. The Jews answered him, saying, for a good work we stone thee not, but for blasphemy, and because that thou, being a man, makest thyself God. John 10:34. Jesus answered them, is it not written in your law, I said that ye are gods? John 10:35. If he called them gods, unto whom the word of God came, and the scripture cannot be broken. As we can clearly see, the term of God was something that was applied to the people, African non-hair, the people of color, the sun, the children of the sun, right? So one of the names that you may hear being to describe the beautiful complexion of our skin is Nubian, which means brown skinned. With further dissection of this word, we see its root, Nub or Nub, which was a name for Ra, right? And we'll get into this a little bit deeper after the reading. The word itself, real meaning, is golden one or gold, representing the sun. Now remember, the word for gods was Neteru. The god over the Neteru was Ra, whose name was also Nub, meaning gold. The Neter family of Ra consisted of 9, right? 9. Ra, Geb, Nut, Shu, Tefnut, Asar, Aset, Nebhet, and Set. And the word Kemet means 3. So the same word for 3 is Kemet. And Atum is known as the 3-in-1 God. And why there are 3 pyramids, and 3 being the square root of 9, and the Ankh is 3 letters, all came together to present the present day Trinity. So this is where the Trinity originates from. You know, it all goes back to Kemet and the Neteru. So here is the original 9, which is today called the Ennead. So we have Atum-Re, right? Shu, Tefnut, Geb, Nut, Nephthys, which is Nebhet, Osiris, which is Asar, Isis, which is Aset, and Set. So the Neter, which were the original 9, right, were spelled with using axes. Guess how many axes were used to spell out the Neteru? Yes, 3, right? So we see 3 right here. We see the Neteru, and we see 3 axes, right? The gods. That's what they translated to, the gods, right? So those who control the matrix know this hidden science, which we will refer to in the book, one of the many secrets of the ages, which was stolen from us. Actually used 999, which is the Egyptian term for the gods, as term for pure gold. It is called millesimal fineness, gold, right? So when you see gold, you'll see the 999 on it, right? That's the fine gold. That's equivalent to the 24 karat, also known as the 3 nines fine, right? So 3 sets of 3. 9s are an informal yet common method of grading the purity of very fine precious metals, such as platinum, gold, and silver. Based on the system of the millesimal fineness, a metal is said to be 19 or 19 fine, if it is 900 fine or 90% pure, right? A metal that is 990 fine is then described as 2 nines fine, and one that is 999 fine is described as 3 nines fine. Thus, 9s are a logarithmic scale of purity for very fine precious metals. The 9s scale is also sometimes used in describing the purity of bottled gases. So once again, we see that the 999, which is the texture of our hair, right? Let's not forget that, represents purity, now seen in gold, which was originally called Nub, which represented the highest of all Neteru, which is 999. This number 9 represented in the texture of the hair, the har, the sun crown of the gods, is not just a number. This is the shape of infinity and repetitive sequencing, right? Infinity and repetitive sequencing, as seen below in the golden means ratio, right? So we see this right here, the golden means ratio, which we also know as the Fibonacci. The 9 represents the spiral of life and growth, the infinite universe and galaxies. To our brothers, the Maya, it was utilized to represent the primordial egg called the Gi, the beginning or the zero, also referred to as the Hunab Ku, the one giver, the measure. All right, so I'll stop right there. We're on page 19, so stop there. All right, so as we see, the number 9 is very, very important when it comes to our hair and to creation. So now I'm going to share my screen and give a presentation deeper into what this 9 is, into what we just read, the 9 Neteru. So I'm gonna do that now. All right, once I share, let me know if you can you guys can see this.
Yeah, we can see.
All right, perfect. All right, so when we go into Budge's hieroglyphic dictionary, right here on page 353, we see Nub, right? Gold. So we see how Nub means gold, right? Gold of the water, right? Gold of the mountain, Nubian gold, right? So Nub, the golden one, a name of the sun god, right? Which is Ra. So this right here, it shows you that Nub, which is, the brown skinned people, is also the same name for the name of the sun god, Ra. Right? So right here we see here's a piece of gold right here, which if you ever look at your precious metals, it'll always have it stamped on there. Right? So this is why they use the 999 fineness on the gold, right? And they show you right here. Right? So So when we get into the Neteru, right, the original 9, when we talk about the Ennead, right, the original 9 gods, the Neteru, right? So here it is right here, the Neteru 9. So we see the 3, which, it breaks down to the 3. It's 3 sets of 3, right? The 9 gods, also written as the 3 axes, right? It's 3, 6, 9, right? The great 9 gods. The 3 group of 9 gods, the companies of the gods of heaven, earth, and the Duat, right? So here's another 3 that's broken down for you. So this is where the original Trinity comes from. This is why the Trinity is so important now in religion and just in life in general. Whenever we always see Trinities, because it goes back to Kemet and, the foundation that we laid, right? So this is still in the same dictionary, the hieroglyphic dictionary. And here's the page numbers if you want to look this up yourself. So here we go. We got the Neteru, right? The gods. And as you see, it's all broken down into 3s, right? You see all different type of 3s, right? 3 stars, right? The Neteru, right? 3. The gods, male and female. So we have 3 right here. And so you see the cobras, the snakes. This right here is a determinative for the female, the feminine. So anytime you see the serpent in this position right here, you know that we're talking about a feminine aspect of creation, or a goddess, right? Or a woman. So like Saba taught us, he said that Kemet is actually the word for 3. So this is what this right here is showing, right? So we have Kemet. Right, so here's the Kemet, the Ka, right? Ka, Met. This is where you get Metut Neter, right? The Metut, Ka, Met, right? So you see the 3 lines. So 3, Kemet, 3, third of 3, third time, right? Double, triple, fourfold. Here's another Kemet, threefold, or 3-ply lining or stuff, right? And here's the trident, which is also 3, the tri, so this is really the original word for trident, Kemet, right? And Kemet also means to observe, to think out a matter, right? So this is how complex that we were when we connected so many different aspects of life. But you see where Kemet is the 3 and why we deal with the original 9, right? So you have the original 9 here. Shu, Tefnut, Geb, Nut, Asar, Aset, Set, and Nephet, right? Here's Atum, right, with the double crown on. See that right there? It looks very familiar. It looks like the number 9 right there, right? And here's our beautiful sisters here showing their 9 hair, all right? This is why it's important for us to recognize our source of power and energy, right? So we don't want to diminish this, So this is, so I'm showing you where we connected this to light, right, and to the origins, to the original, before any type of manipulation came in to teach us that our hair isn't beautiful. Nah, we're here to reverse that, and we're here to show and prove why your hair is beautiful and why you should be in your natural state, because we just, read and was taught that natural goes back to the netaru. It's the same word, right? So nines, when you look up nines, we've all heard the phrase dressed to the nines. So when you look it up in the etymology dictionary, and phrase to the nines means to perfection, fully, elaborately, right? 3 times 3. So so they understand dress to the nines, so that's perfection. That's the reason why we're connected to that. That's why you should connect with your hair and love it for what it is and represent that fro. If you got one, wear it, right? So if we go into the easy lessons in the Egyptian hieroglyphics, we have tet right here. Tet means emanation, right? That's what this is right here, to emanate. And you see where it's coming from, right? Exactly where the hair would go, right? The tet. Emanation, the act of flowing or issuing from an origin. Emission, radiation, what issues, flows, or is given out from any substance or body, to flow out, to spring out of, right? So when you see this tet, the emanation, which is the number 9, you know that you're reconnecting that back to your hair, right? So here's also, Kemet, right? The number 3, Kemet. So when we look up the number 9, what is the word for 9 in the Medu Neter, right? So we're gonna go there. We're gonna when we look up the word for 9, we're gonna find something very, very interesting, right? So we have right here, pest, right? 9. You see the sun, you see it emanating, right? See pest, right? Pest, 9. But we also have, what else means this same exact word? When we look at this same exact word, what else does this mean, right? Pest, to shine, to illume, to spread out like the light or the sky, ray of light, right? So the same word for 9 is also means to shine, to illume, a ray of light, right? Pest, right? To shine, to illume. But it also means backbone, vertebrae, right? So here's the pest right here. The first and the greatest 9 gods, right? So this is what we're talking about when we go back, when we're talking about the 9, the hair, the curl, right? That swirl of your hair, which is beautiful. So what your hair represents isn't just hair. It isn't just hair on your head. When you see that, when you represent that, you're also shining. You're also illuminating, right? Ray of light. So when we look at this right here, the backbone, a lot of us have heard of the Kundalini, right? So a lot of us are familiar with this image right here, the Kundalini and the chakras. Right, what's known as the 7 chakra system, right? So when we were told to go into a meditate state, right, and start to unlock that chakra system. So when we go into the oldest spiritual book on the planet, we want to go to the origins, right? We don't want copies of copies of copies. We want the origins, the source. Right, so right here in the Papyrus of Ani, on page 153, right, the chapter of making transformation into a hawk of gold. See, there's that word gold again, the nub, right? What you see, the 3 circles underneath. May I fly, may I alight like a hawk, or cubits 7 at his back, right? So cubits 7 at his back. In which we see pest, and you see the translation right here says his back. But we know when we look at the pest, right, the backbone of Osiris, 9, to shine, to illuminate. So we're talking about the illuminated spine, the spiritual spine, right? 7. What you see right here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So this is the origin of the Kundalini, right? The chakra system. This is where this comes from, right? So we have to understand and know that when we're connecting back to our origin state, our natural state, our Netaru state, this is what we're aligning ourselves with the origin of light, right? So when you have the Kundalini, right? So in Kundalini, which is in Hinduism, what it means, the coiled snake, right? So this is why this is the way this is, right? We see the coiled snake, and we know that the snake, as presented earlier, that the snake is a concept of the feminine. So we're talking about the feminine, because when you snake on, right? When we go back up here, when you see the snake right here, you're talking about female, right? So it's an important concept where it is believed to be a force of power associated with the divine feminine, or the formless aspect of the goddess, right? The coiled snake. And what do you need to do to awaken the Kundalini, right? Through meditation. So, and all of us are familiar with this right here. We've all seen this. This is on every hospital and any type of medical association. They deal this with healing, right? You'll see this on all the ambulances. So next time you see an ambulance, just look for it, and you'll see it, right? So what do they connect this back to? They say that they connect this to this fellow right here, who is he's a Greek god. His name is Asclepius, right? So this is who they say they get this from. But we know that the Greeks aren't original. So where does he get it from? Of course, right? Here you see the serpent on the staff, right? Moses' staff, who turns into a serpent. Yes, this right here. This is where it comes from. This is what it is, right? You see Tahuti holding the double staff with the serpents, right? So we know that they've stolen everything that they present and they give to you, and they never, when you look this stuff up, they're not gonna show you that, hey, this is where this comes from. It's always gonna go back to a Greek source, a Roman source. It'll never go back to Kemet. But that's why we're here, to show you the real original source, the one, and not the B, not the beta, not the double, not the copy, right? We're gonna show you where all this comes from, right? So this is in the temple of Seti I in Abydos, right? Around 1300 BCE, right? So it's taught that once you awaken your Kundalini, right, to find enlightenment, right, you turn your body into what? A body of light. And that's what they call the Merkaba, right? The Merkaba. So when we look at the Merkaba, the noun Merkaba, a thing to ride in, a cart, is derived from the consonant root with the general meaning to ride, right? The word chariot is found 44 times in the Masoretic text of the Hebrew Bible, most of them referring to the normal chariots on earth, right? Although the concept of Merkaba is associated with Ezekiel's vision. However, when left untranslated in English, the Hebrew term Merkaba relates to the throne chariot of God in prophetic visions, right? It is mostly closely associated with the vision in Ezekiel, right? So we look at Merkaba, we know this is a meta-neter word, right? They put meta-neter together as one, right, and throw it into the Hebrew Bible and tell you that this is the chariot that you ride your light body in, right? This is where you lie. This is how you travel, right? And we see it here, the emerald tablets of Thoth, the Atlantean, right? What's he holding? He's holding the Merkaba. This is what you're supposed to turn your body into to be able to travel once you awaken your Kundalini, right? And the Merkaba is just nothing but two pyramids, or akus, right? You see the aku right here, the pyramid, the mer. You see one right here, and you see one right here. It's two of them put together to create this light body, right? So when we look in these words, right, we see mer, pyramid, tomb, right? Ka, the image, the genius, the person, the double body, the character, disposition, the vital strength of the Ba soul, right? So we see the Ka right here, and we got Kat, which means thought meditation, which is what's needed to awaken the Kundalini, right? It's right here in the word, the Ka, the Kat, right? The T makes a word feminine, the bread loaf right here. The Ba, the soul, right? So here's your Mer, Ka, Ba. Right here, these are Kemetic words, right? But when you look up the Merkaba, it's not going to show you this. But that's why we're here, right? So this all will connect right back to the hair, to the nine, right? To the light. Because you got the Merkaba, which goes in with the Kundalini, which the Kundalini deals with the coiled snake and the serpent, and number 9, right? So when we look at, and here's a picture of me and my daughter right here with our hair out, you know, I always, I do this for the children, I think, most of us here, we do this for the children, right? So, this is always implement, and I teach my child, and I make sure that she is in love with her hair, and that, whatever else they put out here and they push out there to you, that ain't just because they put it out there in the forefront. That's when we need to take a second look. Love your hair because of all this right here, right? Because it connects to light. You're a light being, right? So when we look up the word for hair, right? We get a couple words, right? Sma'i, right? So here you see this right here. This is hair, right? Looks like a number 9, right? Temple, same word for temple, the hair. Lock, right? Shesh, hair, right? And what else does the shesh mean? To shine, to give out light, right? So this is how complex and deep we were. The Kemetians are just, there's no word. It's simply amazing. It's beautiful. It connects you to real divinity, to real light, to real truth, and this is what has been lost, right? And forgotten. But once again, I'm gonna continue to reiterate, this is why we're here. This is what we're here to do. We're here to shine, to give out light. So that's what I'm gonna do, right? This is also the same word, shesh, for the scribe, right? A writer, a designer, right? Divine scribe, the 2 divine scribes, Tahuti and Seshet, right? So what we see that when we look at the number 9 and we look at this hair, right? This is what it comes down to. All that is from this, right? All that's from this, from your crown, right? This is your crown, right? So we want to learn how to embrace this. We want to break that spell that we have to straighten our hair. We got to perm it. We have to do all these altercations to our crowns because in today's society, it's not looked at as beautiful, but we're not going by what is presented today as beautiful, because we're the originals of beauty, and light. So this is what we are getting back to, and this is what we are rehypnotizing ourselves with the origins of what we're supposed to be doing here, which is shining, giving light, So this all comes back to Kemet, So with that right there, I'll stop sharing my screen. And so, yeah, I just want to reiterate, that it's just as important for us to recognize our natural states as it is if you're in any type of spiritual system, or you're in any type of religion, or you're dealing with any type of connectivity to spirit or God. You can't even begin to do that if you're not in your natural state. You just can't. That's one of the spells that was given to us, to where we think that, oh, we're going to be able to connect with nature and connect with God when we're not even in our origin state. So it's extremely important for us to come back to that and start to love ourselves, right? And not present ourselves to be something that we're not, because it's not taught that it's beautiful. That's a terrible teaching. That's a terrible thing to walk around with. And I feel for our sisters who feel that way, who feel like they have to put on a certain look to be beautiful, you know, but it's because all these teachings have been lost. They've definitely been lost, and we haven't been able to find our way back until here recently. And that's what all of us on this panel are doing here today. This is what we're here to do, is to bring this back to our people, so we can connect, so we can actually reconnect with our natural state, so we can actually be spiritual, so we can actually connect with the divinities of the Neteru, the original, you know. So anytime you see the number 9, and you think about the number 9, and you go into the number 9 and you study how that's the true infinite, that's the true infinity, it connects back to you and your crown, right? So it's a beautiful thing, brothers and sisters. So I just I think it's an amazing thing that we have these, that our ancestors left this here for us to be able to learn and tap into, so we can not be lost anymore. I mean, it's been going on for so long. It's a terrible thing, but one step at a time, break one spell at a time, and we will begin to teach our children, so at a younger state they won't have to go through this, and they won't have to break all these spells and these hypnosis that we're having to do at a much later time. So we'll be able to speed up time and slow it down at the same time, because we'll be able to put more of our energy into the things that we love to do and lead with our heart. Right? We won't have to be trapped into the matrix and be, outside of what we love to do, and what we want to do that makes us feel good, that makes us feel like, what's the purpose of being here? That's the whole thing. Everybody has that. What's the purpose? Why am I here? What am I supposed to do? It's because all this confusion is out there, right? But it starts with you, and understanding that you need to connect with your origin state and your natural state. And I do it personally myself, one day at a time, one step at a time. Once you break one spell, you start to realize, okay, here's another one. That's another one. And it just keeps revealing itself, and it keeps revealing itself, and it keeps revealing itself, So it runs deep, but we're here to help each other, to assist each other, to hold each other accountable, so, and it takes a group, there's one of the oldest sayings, what it takes a village to raise a child, right? And we're all children in the schools of thought of Ma'at, and it's a beautiful thing. That's a beautiful, beautiful thing, So I just want to end there. I just want to say Hotep Ma'at to the chat for listening and for your attention, for the panel, for the great brothers here, Saba Tahuti, for these wonderful, wonderful teachings. So I'll end it there, and I will give it back to our great brother, the chairman, Arcad Infinite.
Hotep, Hotep. Hey, wow. That was a great, great presentation. That was phenomenal.
Tua.
I know who your teacher is, brother. Oh my God, that was wonderful. I wasn't ready.
Tua.
Hey man,
Tua.
that was fantastic. Oh my goodness. Oh man, I don't even know what
Thank you,
else to
brother.
say, brother. I wasn't ready for that. That was remarkable. You know what? It's funny because this is what's so amazing is that like I came to like be the student in the back of the class, right? And I got like a front row seat, like a front row seat to learn alongside you brothers and to learn up under our great Saba. And this is what it does. This is what the teachings do, right? When I see this presentation and I'm like, wow, I'm like blown away. I am blown away, guys. It is so fantastic to watch my brothers grow. Scribe, that website is awesome too. I see the work that you guys are putting in. Yeah, man.
to uh
I don't even know what else to say, brother. Except for I'm not gonna be long winded. I'm just gonna say, that we have to love ourselves. We have to love our natural self, the way we were created. um, you know, and we have to just step into that and start acknowledging it. Like you said, take it one step at a time because we are beautiful, and the power is in that beauty, and we just have to, we have to recognize it and step into it. And that's really what it's about, brother, is recognizing how beautiful we are and what that power means. And that break that presentation was absolutely phenomenal, Scribe. I'm gonna pass the mic to my good brothers AJ and Tahuti Most. That way we can get some guests if they want to come or join us. So I'm gonna let one of you brothers speak.
Hotep Ma'at, to all the brothers in the panel, Ankh Uja, Saneb, to everyone that's in the chat. Good job, great job, amazing job, Scribe. Shout out to Saba Tahuti for writing this book for us, because what you touched on, Scribe, and what Tahuti is illustrating is that every morning we do ourselves a huge favor by saying, who am I? This is who I am, and knowing what there is about us to love. There is so much about ourselves for us to love. And if we don't forget that, and we don't forget who we are, we start our day on a solid foundation. Like, we have a clear mind, we have a firm foundation, and we're solid in our identity. And that's so important. Like, we're so distracted that we forget who we are. And because that's been hidden or taken or forgotten, there lies the root of the problem, which is can be the root of the solution. Just remembering who we are and why there is so much about us to love. And I'll pass it to Tahuti Most.
Hotep, great brother Scribe. I'm telling you, Scribe, that was just awesome. I'm like, get this one. This is for all of you. I'm on cloud nine. Y'all like that, don't you? Yeah, I'm on cloud nine, baby. So, hey, great message, and I appreciate all you coming out, because the more you listen in, and those of you who will listen in later, this will truly be a benefit to you. So, hotep, my art.
Scribe, scribe, scribe. I was watching your presentation, and to be honest, I thought Saba passed you a slide or something. That is exactly what Saba's teachings are meant to do. Is to create us to do what Scribe just did, where he was clear, he was articulate, and he simplified a complex teaching that is the essence of all of our existence or our life right now. If you can understand what's growing out of the top of your head and realize that you don't need so for instance, I see sisters, they wear I call them the slave wraps. They wear the wraps on their head, and that comes from slavery. That's a whole nother teaching you can ask Saba. But it disappoints me because our hair is, like the scribe said, is so powerful. When I was looking at Scribe with his daughter, and he reminded me of Kenny G, um, man, it was beautiful. You could actually see the glow radiating off of the both of you. But to go even deeper in that, the connection that we have with Ra or with the sun goes back to a word that was created, Nubia, to distort our primary power, which is the Ka, which is also light energy. So now I see it almost every day on the chat rooms and in the comment sections where people are claiming this ancient place called Nubia existed. I even had a debate with somebody that I beat because he was claiming that word that Scribe brought up, Nub or Nub, was a prefix for the name Nubia, which it is not, of course. It means gold. So our gold was what the scribe described was that light energy that was attached to the curls, the tight curls that are on your head right now. That was your energy in the physical form. Was the light energy or the nine? But scribe is what would be called a deputy of the teachings of Ma'at, and there's a reason for that because you've seen it in the work that he puts in. We brothers here, we're not into always being in a joking mood, like comedians or clowns trying to seek entertainment. We do laugh before we come on the show. We laugh all the time. But when it comes to business, these brothers are about it. You can see with the scribe. That's what the scribe's putting in. So when we ask for donations, we're deserving of it because you get a presentation like the scribe. I didn't tell him to do that. You can ask him. I didn't put him up to this. I didn't tell him to do this. He didn't. He put this on his own. This is his own work ethic, and he should be commended for it. But that's what all these
Wow.
brothers are here doing behind the scenes, even though all of us might not see it. We're here putting in work for you week after week. That's what real men do, real black men do. They put in work week after week, not for your likes and your views and your popular appreciations, but like we always emphasize, week after week, it is for the children. So lastly, I want to end with my sisters. My sisters. Me personally, I don't know how the other brothers feel. I would love to see your hair.
Yes.
I would love to see your hair. I detest those wraps. I detest the hair coverings you put on your head because I'm more interested in you because of your hair. You know, because you are the power. It's not anything you're putting on you that you think is protecting you. They put the wraps to protect them. That's no. You are the protection, especially the females, because it's your energy that's protecting all of us, even us males, as the scribe taught to them. So we're gonna pass it on. I think AJ goes next week. AJ, man, you have a hard act to follow, brother. You, you better manifest a material on the screen or something.
Well, I'm gonna just be myself, and
Yes.
I know my superpower is my intuition. So my intuition, I don't take credit for. I'm just a vessel, and I just allow myself to be used. So, however, the netters, the ancestors, and my aunt wants to use me, that's what you will get from me next week. I just be myself, and I know my
Yes.
intuition always guides me.
So you hear what he said? He didn't get defensive. He laughed. He smiled. He didn't get defensive. And he says, "I'm going to be himself," and that's what we're all here to do, which is be ourselves. Nobody's in competition with one another. Nobody has to put on a fake front or false reality. We're here to get the real reality, to get out of this matrix, to break it once and for all.
It's so wonderful to be in presence of netters because y'all are my reflection and y'all attracted me and I attracted y'all. So I'm with my family, and when I'm with my family, I'm safe. And long as I'm protecting and loving my family, I can do no wrong. It's like I did not know when I showed up to the Meta Netter Monday that my background was the Saba. That was just me using my intuition, and Saba confirmed that my background is the Saba, and so my life is not my own. So I just allow my life to be what it is, and allow myself to be who I am. And so I'm just thankful, appreciative, and grateful to be in the presence of all of you. We are here together, and we're here for a purpose. The whole world is headed to Kemet. These are Tahuti's words. And since we're already in this cipher together, we're right exactly where we're supposed to be.
Exactly. All right, Mr.
Right.
Arcad, what's coming next?
So what we got next? If anybody from the chat want to join us, we appreciate your support, guys. We appreciate all the support for you ladies, sisters. If anybody want to join, share anything with us before we close it out. Do we have any announcements coming up? Of course, always join us Monday for Monday Metal Netta class. Of course, join us on Fridays for Tahuti's pod class. And definitely join us back next week for our Sunday book study when our presenter will be the great AJ. If anybody would like to join us before we close it out,
Yes,
anybody
please hit that
want to
link.
jump
Please
on?
hit the link.
Hit the link. You put the link in the chat. Don't
Just
be
come in,
shy,
show your
everybody.
face. Come in, show your
Don't be
face,
shy.
and
Join us.
in the
Like
meantime,
I said,
we
go
did
ahead,
get a
Scribe. Go ahead.
okay. So we did get a donation. So I want to give a shout out to the brother Nito Campbell, a $23
Oh,
donation.
Campbell.
Yes, for
Nice,
teaching to
nice,
Consistent
touch
brother.
everyone. Yes,
Consistent brother,
nice.
Nito Campbell.
Tua,
Oh, we even have
yes,
sound effects. There we go.
Tua,
There
good
we
brother.
go.
Tua.
Nito
Tua.
Campbell, I don't know if you're subscribed to the email list. Please subscribe, and we give shout outs in the weekly newsletter to our supporters. So you will be right up in the list.
Yes.
Yeah, if anybody want to join us, show your face. Come join us. Support us. Support us. Jump
If
on the link.
anybody
Don't be
has
shy.
disagreements, you can join us too. You don't always have to agree with us. If you have a disagreement that you want to address, you can come on the panel too.
That's right. Welcome, welcome, welcome to the panel. I came to the class to sit in the back and not raise my hand, and I was invited, and I got a front row seat. So don't be shy, everybody. You never know. Come get this
Yeah.
knowledge. Come get this knowledge. Tribe again, man. That was an excellent breakdown, man. I'm honored to
Tua.
be with you, brothers, man. I really, really am. It is such an honor to be alongside you guys. If no one wants to come on,
Oh,
then I'm
we
gonna
got
close it out with
Heka Kepara.
you got
yep,
somebody.
Hecka Kepara. Hecka Kepara, if you have your YouTube on, go ahead and mute your YouTube.
Okay.
Welcome, brother. Welcome.
The second
Oh, that's
tab.
the sun.
Mute this one here. Wait, this one? Oh,
Peace,
right.
peace.
Hey, how's it going?
Hey,
How's it going, fellas?
going great. How are
Peace.
you?
Welcome. Man, good, good.
Peace to the
Uh,
panel.
Peace,
Peace.
Peace,
Sekakepara.
brother.
What's up?
and I appreciate it, man. The whole teaching of it, and it reminds me of this quote by Tesla. He was saying, if you understand the relationship between 3, 6, and 9, you can understand the universe. So with you going in with the number 9, and I noticed that with the axis, it's in the formation of 369. So for me, it was just like just a confirmation of you're literally giving us the key to the universe, and you're showing us that we are the key to the universe, or the direct manifestation of it. So I mean, just extremely grateful when you're able to connect the dots. And I thought about what we do in sororities and fraternities. They call themselves the divine 9. So when you're thinking about the word 9 and what it means and what it represents, we have our own people using the distorted version of that and not being able to connect the dots and saying and seeing that it's not about the Greeks, their perspective of it, but just go back to the original version of Kemet. And so, man, I just wanted to drop that line and just really just show my appreciation and just say thank you. Thank you guys for doing what you do. And thank you for today's lesson, man. I'm definitely going to go back and review it myself because it's definitely a lot, and it's a good thing. It's definitely a good thing.
Well,
But
we
let me say
appreciate you.
one thing here. This brother that just spoke right now, I've seen him on Saba's podcast with his father, Heka Kipara, and he just says hi, and then he goes in the background. And then this brother now is in front of his father, giving us some wisdom and knowledge.
Hmm.
So this is exactly what we want to do. We want to start bringing people out of their virtual shells because that's not the
Mm.
reality. The reality is when we physically meet up, just like our ancestors did. And again, this brother, what you just said, you wouldn't have been able to come out with that if you weren't really listening. So again, another
Right.
great example of somebody before they speak, they listen. This is one of the laws or teachings of Ma'at from one of the great scribes could give me.
Hmm.
And brother, I commend you. If you or your father, I don't know what your father's schedule is, but these
Mm.
brothers all have schedules. I have a schedule, but we're setting aside time to come together once a week to
Mm.
build. And we can give you that information if you're interested because we all can play a part in this. We need writers, we need creative people, we need everybody. That's how you build a community. If that's what you seriously want, so you have to think that
Mm.
over. But I'm welcoming you into our community if you would like, because you too are one of the most consistent people that I see here in the YouTube world. So it'd be nice to eventually meet up sometime also. And that's what these
For
brothers on
sure.
the panel are going to do too. So once again, I invite you to, when you're ready, to join us.
Mm. Thank you for the invitation, man. I look forward
Yes.
to it. So I know he does too.
Hadi, send the information.
Yeah, I'll have Art is our secretary, so he'll get your email after this, and
Okay.
he'll forward you everything you need to know.
All right. And I enjoyed the newsletter. You guys are doing an awesome job. I just wanted to thank you, panel, for that. It
Thank
was
you.
amazing just seeing that the progression that's taking place with the newsletter. That was awesome. Like the way you put that, scribe. I
Sure.
also like to commend you on your presentation.
Yeah.
Enjoyed that. I'm like a hottie. I thought that Saba had sent you some slides, and I was like, hey, can I get those slides? You know, so
I
I
thought he went in
appreciate
his book bag and grabbed the slide out.
it.
Right.
Yeah.
I won't tell you
Exactly.
how I got it.
That's what's up, though. That brother setting the standard, though. That's what it's about. That's
Yes.
motivation,
Yeah.
Yes, indeed.
inspiration
Too,
to be
brother.
commended.
Yeah.
That's
Yo,
definitely to be commended. I thank
it's
you.
really heartwarming to see a father and his son connecting and spending quality time together and communicating with us. I wish I had that. I really appreciate you brothers coming on and
To what?
for sure. To what, man.
For
Sharing your
all.
love for each other with us.
Yes, indeed.
Got another
So
guest on.
Awesome.
Awesome.
I know nothing. Peace,
Hello,
brother.
I know
hello.
nothing.
Y'all can hear me? Peace.
Hey,
Yes,
Y'all
peace.
yes,
heard me?
welcome.
I know nothing.
Yes,
Do
we can
you
hear
have
you.
a camera? Do you have a camera? I know nothing.
I, I have a camera on my phone, but it not so. That's not. Hold on.
Okay.
My camera kind of This is Conscious Conqueror.
Oh,
Oh,
okay.
Conscious
Conscious
conqueror.
Conqueror. Good, good.
hey.
Yeah,
Hey,
we'd like to
peace.
see you because you're always in the chat, dropping
Yeah.
paragraph after paragraph. So it'd be nice to see what to write. Oh, there
Oh.
we go.
Fell out.
Maybe he'll come back.
Yeah, it says device not connected, so maybe he'll get that
Okay.
together. So, Hector Kepra, if you could put your email in the chat, so AJ can send you that information.
Certainly.
So there's a question here, and it's not one that Saba. It's a real simple question. So we're not gonna pass it to Saba. It's from the. Oh, it's the Conscious Conqueror, the guy that was just on.
No.
Uh, Scribe, can you see if he coming back or?
He's still on, but I guess he's trying to connect his camera because it won't let me add him until he connects his. Let's see. Let's see me add him here. I don't know if he can get his camera on.
Oh, here he is. Maybe he'll ask it here.
it cut off, so it disconnected.
Okay.
That's
Y'all
I
hear
okay.
me?
see.
Hello? Right.
Yeah. I see you have a question in the
Yeah.
chat here. Do you want to ask it?
Yeah. Oh yeah, I was just I think I understand why you were using the Greek god's name. I think that's from Budge's hieroglyphic dictionary. He uses the Greek gods instead of the Cometian gods.
Is that a question? Is that the question, or are you making a statement?
I think I just answered my own question.
Okay. Perfect. Perfect. Nice.
Peace. So this is Conscious Conqueror from I'm from the Caribbean, Trinidad. Yeah, and but I'm a big supporter to Houthi. I love his debates. You know, I'm not really a full Kemetic brother because I come from a household where it's a mixed religion, spiritual Baptist, Catholic, and even a Japanese art called mahikari, healing hands, basically heal people with hands like reiki. So I just love knowledge on a whole, just a truth seeker, and so yeah, just come to say, well, peace and love, and I love the show and I love the teachings. I might be a little critical, not cynical. So it's just love.
What are you critical about?
Well, no, just everything. How do you know something work unless you test it out? So I'm always a bit skeptical because how I grew up, growing up Christian as a Catholic and realizing, well, that wasn't all true. Santa Claus, Tooth Fairy. So I'm just a critical person on a whole, and that's not so easy to accept things. So I'm like a doubting Thomas, and even though I hate to use a biblical story, but they say the doubting Thomas, he ended up becoming the closest to, well, who they call Jesus, Zeus, Heru, Horus, etc.
So what? Name just one thing about Kemet that you're critical about, because I'm curious.
Um, well, well, I mean, not really critical with commit. I'm not really I'm not a person will just go into something so easy. But obviously, a lot of teachings, a lot of all what we know came from Kemet. But right now there's a lot of debates about a lot of things came from Sumeria too now. So in between Sumeria and Kemet.
Okay. Oh, you're not. You're deciding. Okay, I
Well,
see what it is. I see what it is
I'm
because
not
there's confusion. There's confusion going on because just that word Sumeria was created by the Tamahus. So you're only going to get the information that leads to Sumeria. You're not going to get what the Sumerians, quote unquote, wrote in their own language because it stops with something like Wikipedia or some
right.
Tamahu written dictionary, and it doesn't go deep into the tablets like the Ultra Hasis and so on and so forth. But I see what you mean because the Tamahu, what they did was is they took different black mindsets, such as the followers of Ma'at, which is us, and then the followers of Hammurabi, or the followers of the Anunnaki. And they said, well, these are two different people because one is practicing spirituality, which are the followers of Ma'at, and one is not. So they must be separate people. So they're the Egyptians, and these are the Sumerians. That's why you rarely hear anybody other than Saba teach about who the Sumerians really are, or as they call themselves, the Sajiga, which means black-headed people. So when you shave a Tamahu's head bald, it's what? It's pink, right? It's a pink head. So
Right,
the
right.
Talmud is not going to tell you that. He's just going to call them Sumerian, and he's going to go a step further. He's going to call them Babylonians. He's going to go a step further. He's going to start naming all Assyrians. He's going to start naming all these different societies. Where you get to the point, it's like 1 in the morning, and you're just trying to find one meaning to this culture, and you're all over the place on the internet, and you don't, and you're so confused. You say, "I give up, whatever. I'll just wait for somebody to teach me it or whatever." And that's one of the great tricks.
Well,
So,
well
yeah, go ahead.
I, I appreciate exactly what you're explaining there. I will take it in. I'll put it in my pipe and smoke it. Um, but Another thing too that I am.
That's the
uh,
crackhead lingo there. I'll put it when you go to AA meetings. That's what they say. I'll put it in my pipe and I'll smoke it. I have no idea what does that mean, brother. Can you explain that to me?
it just means that I'll take your knowledge and I will absorb it.
Yeah, you know what I do, I'm not telling you what to do. What I do is when somebody tells me something that either doesn't make sense to me at first or I just don't know what it is, I look it up immediately if I can. If I have my cell phone, I'll Google, I'll start looking up what the person's saying to see if what they're saying is true. And then if it's connecting the dots, this is actually what I did with Saba when I first met him. When a pattern happened where he just keeps telling me things are true, then I start to put my trust in. Then it becomes a lot smoother. So yes, I respect that. That's why I want people up here that are critical too, so everybody just doesn't think everybody's getting along, and then no, no. I know everybody has questions. There's people with contention, um, so that's understandable. But all I would suggest to you is never stop with Wikipedia. You're gonna have to go back into books that were written in the 1800s.
Well,
Yeah.
that's what I love about Tahuti because he knows so much knowledge about Kemet and the papyrus. He's the first, as you said, and all. He's the only person that really studied this thing so in depth. He like a walking encyclopedia.
Yeah, because what he taught me is this is our life. Black people don't black quote unquote because you're considered black. I'm considered black. Hector Caparal is considered black. Black is we're not even black. We're brown. We're different shades of brown. So there's the hypnosis spell. And then blacks in the United States, that's not a nation. That's nothing. That's something the slave master created for us. And this has been going on for hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of years. And blacks are still tap dancing and joking and oh look at me, I got the fake eyelashes. Yeah, but I'm in the rooms where you guys don't go to. I'm on BitChute with the white nationalists that call us monkeys, savages, the N word. They call me this. They hate us, and we still don't get it. So when I met Tahuti, his plan for me, from what I know, from what he's told me, is develop Malcolm X with my aunt. That's what was missing. All of our movements, the NOI, the Black Panthers, all these movements were great, but they were missing the spiritual aspect, which is Ma'at. And I tell the brothers this all the time. If you utilize Ma'at in everything in your life, you will be successful because Ma'at is the standard that history, quote unquote, that the Talmud was using, where they got their history from, and it's still being written on. So you can never be fooled again learning from somebody like Saba. And that was mind
Uh,
blowing to me. That was very energizing to me. And for me to just keep that to myself, I just couldn't do it. I couldn't do it. I understand why Saba does it because his story goes a lot deeper, and he built something that got crushed. So I would feel the way he feels, but I didn't experience that yet, and I put it yet because I don't know what's going to happen. But I will do everything in my power to show you, brothers and sisters, that with Ma'at, we will not fail. You might not see it now. You might be living in turmoil. You might be sleeping on the street tonight. I can guarantee I'm living proof that with Ma'at and consistency, we will not fail. Because the truth doesn't fail. It comes out after thousands of years. Our ancestors lived thousands of years ago, and we're still talking about their language. But if you go to the Met Museum, if you go on the Met Museum website, they'll call the Sumerian, quote unquote, Sagi, the Emigur, their language called Emigur, the Sagagi people. They call their language a dead language. So I walk around thinking, oh, since the body's dead, then their language must be dead. But that's how a person lives, is through their language. And through their language, they communicate to other people and they build their family. And through their family, they build a community. And through that community, they build their nation. And then all this we're going through now, generations to come, goes poof, gone. But you need somebody that's willing to to be able to sacrifice money and all types of stuff. I have so many people hating on me, but it's worth it. To me, it's worth it. I'm willing to sacrifice. Arcad Infinite, that's why he's up here because I've seen him. He's willing to sacrifice. The brothers that are on the panel right now are willing to sacrifice because eventually people, if they're not already, they're watching Tahuti and they're going to be watching us. Because the last thing this world wants is a successful group of black men that are able to lead and have the support and the backbone, the chest of their women.
Hmm.
Once that
True that.
happens, we are unstoppable again. And no other movement in the past had Ma'at like we do. Because we have,
Hmm.
in my opinion, the literal reincarnation of a Nitiru, which is Tahuti Amenhotep Ra. Yeah.
Um,
Peace.
that's wonderful. 100% agree with that because if Africa was to unite, just like how Bob Marley was trying to perpetuate, you could imagine the power if the whole of Africa unite.
But
They have all the
that's the
resources
key.
in Africa.
That's the key. We're not trying to unite Africa. We're trying to unite our minds. So one of the words for the comedians was the Kam Mao, the black mind. One of the words
Hmm.
for a black person in Kemet is the Kem or the Kem, the Kem
Hmm.
or the Kam. It has a person glyph. So your mind. That's what
Yeah.
the comedians were looking at because at one time we were all brown people or what's being called black people. There were no Tama. The original comedians never seen
Hmm.
Alexander the Great. They would have killed him. They would have thought he was like a four-legged beast. They never seen Otamahu. So we are living in this distorted illusion where these people calling themselves Africans or these Bob Marley people, if they don't break out of that spell, we have no use for them. Because what happens is the door opens a crack and the Tamahu comes in. The Tamahu mindset. Oh, what's
Right.
this N-word doing up
Tamahu.
there talking like he is? He's making all this money now. All that is said. All that is how the Tamahu thrives. You can't thrive off of that. So you'll
Hmm.
never hear Saba talk about I don't think he's ever mentioned Africans on his podcast. No,
And,
no, because these are created by the
yeah.
Tamils. Yeah, go ahead.
I was just saying, I just adding on saying, you can imagine, look at India, right? India's 1.4 billion people, right? The size of India. So I just saying, and they kind of united in a way. So I just saying, imagine if Africa was to unite, which they don't want because the Chinese are owning most of the land and they're separated with religion and Islam and I just saying, I just adding on. But
But
I,
hold on a second. I
yeah,
gotta stop you there. I don't blame the
yeah,
Chinese. That's what we're supposed to do. Us as a
yeah,
race, we don't think like that, and we should be.
yeah,
We should have our own land. We should have our
yeah,
own commerce. Every other race is thinking this way, brother. It's us that has
yeah.
opened the door for them because nobody wants to sacrifice. The African leaders over there are bought off, of course, except for a select few like
Corruption.
Julius Malema. He's good, but he's the few. But the only reason Chinese are there is because nobody's willing to stand up to them because they're afraid of what? They're afraid of what most people are afraid of. They're afraid of dying. And in Kemet, and what we're learning now, we understand that this is eternity. I say this all the time, and I'll keep saying it until I leave my physical body. This is just another version of eternity. We're in the physical state. Then we're going to go back to the molecular state again. And whatever comes after that, I do not know. I can say that. But all I know is that learning what our ancestors knew, they did not fear death because they taught about it every single day that there's no such thing as death. That's the problem. Because the Tom who
Hmm.
puts the horror movies out, he puts the death hip hop music out, he puts the people in your life that kill and suck your energy, they're called energy vampires. All this negativity is in your mind and you're just battling yourself. So when we stop focusing on other races and just exclusively focus on us, then the quote unquote miracles happen. And Saba teaches it. Saba taught me this
True
a
that.
long time ago, and he said in the podcast, what if the Chinese were out of Africa? What if the French left Nigeria? What if all these people left and it's just us here on the planet? Then what do we talk about?
Hmm. Well, that's what they say. The aliens come and you're supposed to unite. When the
Yeah.
aliens come as a human race now,
Mm.
and we're supposed to unite. That's what they say. But can I just only one thing though I realized about that I my personal beliefs that might be contradictory to Kemet is that I have a slight belief and understanding that there has truth to astrology, and I know that's kind of pseudo, but I don't know. From my own experience, I could see that there's patterns in the sky, and you could see that things are similar when you track the sky and the patterns of the celestial, objects now. And I know, and in Egypt they used to also track the sky too and constellations now. But I know that's a Greek Roman created thing now, astrology.
Yeah, I would address Saba with that question. I definitely would.
Yeah,
Because
and
yes, yes, that would be a great question for him.
Yep.
I know Saba said that the Dendera was created by the Greeks. It was in the Hellenistic period, so it
No,
was
no, no.
the
What's
Ptolemies who
called
put that. Yeah,
the zodiac on the top of the temple ceiling, that was created by the Greeks. But
right,
the temple wasn't called Dendera. That's another great question for Saba. Ask him what the original name for the temple was, because it goes back to an ancient story dealing with Heru, the warrior.
right, right,
Yes, sir.
right. Cool.
Hey,
I
Yeah,
mean,
uh,
our
I
people
appreciate the
love
dialogue. Thank you.
astronomy. You know, they love astronomy. They love astrology. They love all that. But you
Because
just
even the Sphinx, right? The Sphinx supposed to be the lion, right? It's supposed to be a lion. Then there's Leo in the zodiac. So if they can't say the Sumerians created the astrology because Leo, a lion is in Africa, there's not a lion in the Middle East. Things like that now.
is that a question or are you making a statement?
A statement, hoping you could correct me if I said anything wrong.
Yo, you know what? AJ, do you want to take this? What he's saying?
All well, the only thing I'll say, because I don't have the depth of knowledge that Saba Tahuti's. Somebody need to mute their
Well, you
mic.
all right? You all right, brother? So the Tama who's at the door.
Sound like some dogs.
Oh boy. Okay.
Oh, Saba talks about astrology was created by the Ptolemies.
Astronomy.
Bing, bing,
Astronomy is
bing. Yes.
what's real.
Astronomy's the real thing.
Astronomy is the real
Astrology
thing.
was created by the Ptolemies,
Yes.
the same people
Uh,
that created the Bible.
Hector
yes. Do we
Kepara
got
looks like Ra rising out of
sure
the
does.
Klubac.
we got another
Hey, real
guest
quick.
on the Will I am. I think they struggling to come in.
Oh,
Hey, Will I
perfect.
am. Are you there?
It's been spinning. Are you there, Will I am?
Will I am. I see night fires here. Peace, brother or sister, whoever you are. Peace.
Mr. Will
Will I
I
am?
am. Mic
Want to
check.
go
Mic
out and
check.
try to come back in? It seems like you're trying to maybe go out and come back in.
Pardon me, brothers. Heka Kepara, I didn't get your email in the chat to send you the information, brother.
Yeah, Will I am. If you can exit out and then hit the link again and see if that'll correct you. Because if you're talking, we can't hear you.
AJ, I sent it in the chat. I don't see why you can't. I don't understand why you can't see it. I'm sorry.
It might be private chat, right? Oh no. No, it's not. No, I
Can
don't see
anybody else see my comments in the chat?
No, we don't.
Hmm. I put it in 3 times. I'll try to send it again. AJ, you can go ahead and mute.
Tua, yeah, brother. I've been looking, waiting. I don't see it in there. So when you have a chance, I don't know what's happening.
Can you type in the private chat, Scribe?
Yeah, you can. Yeah, you can hit it in the private chat right there on the right. Mic
This is a
check to
great
Will
show.
Will
I
I
am.
am.
What is that name? Sounds familiar. It's from a music group, right? Will I am.
Yeah. Black Eyed Peas.
Black Eyed Peas. I remember that.
Yeah.
What was that? Early 2000s, right?
Yeah. Will I am. You coming in, brother?
I think he's having technical difficulties.
All right. I see something in the private. Okay, we got an email secretary right there.
Can you get okay? You guys, you got the email.
Yeah, I see the email.
Perfect.
This is, this was a
Awesome.
great
Thank you.
class. It was a great class, guys. This is what we need. See what the Sabbath teachings produce? Produces the scribe. Work like that. Good
Yeah, that
work like
brother brought up a great question with the Sumerians' confusion, because a lot of people don't talk about them. And the Sumerian culture, really the Sagiga culture, is even, in my opinion, on certain aspects, it's even more interesting than Kemet, because now we can go into modern day science and connect our ancient ancestors with modern day science, and we can prove what they wrote thousands of years ago on their tablets and line them up with the modern technology. So it's very, very interesting. And it also deals with how we were created too, which is very fascinating.
Yeah,
I don't know
Will I
what's going
am.
on.
We can't see you or hear you. So maybe maybe you can get on a different device,
yeah,
or
it's
if
just
not, we may have to try again next week. But yeah, you're having technical difficulties.
we
Yeah.
definitely appreciate your support though, Will I am. We love to see you.
Yes.
Definitely come on next week. We'll definitely love to have you. Well, on that note, guys,
Desmond put BitChute life. Oh man. Yeah, if you guys want to see uncensored videos, head over to my BitChute. Stuff that will get you kicked off of mostly every other platform. Actually, my channel over there, I found out from somebody, they were trying to search for me, is restricted in Europe. So I'm even restricted too. But
That's what
that's what it that. Oh, what you say, Scrap?
VPN. That's when a VPN comes in
Yes,
handy.
you know about that, huh?
Oh yeah.
Okay. Yes, so the scribe said if you guys are trying to watch something that's restricted in whatever part of the world you are in, just download one of these free extensions for the browser VPN and just switch your country to whatever works, and eventually you'll be able to watch the video in its entirety. That's why you don't see much on my YouTube, because I can't put up what's important. So it's any purpose.
So yeah, I just posted the link that will lead you to all of Ahati's teachings, his BitChute, his blog, the ability to purchase his book as well. So if everyone in chat can definitely check that out and show support.
Yeah, and if anybody has questions on how they want to get involved, these brothers up here are more than welcome to share information with you and to help you out, just like AJ's doing with Heka Kepara. And yeah, we need everyone, so join us.
I think
And I
that
hope
brother.
everybody out there is reading Saba's book and looking up what he's saying, seeing to see if things are true because they don't align with what you were taught, and finding out that, oh man, what I was taught wasn't necessarily true, and then it'll formulate more questions in your mind, and then you can bring them to the pod class, and he can break them down. Because the whole purpose of this, again, is to advance us. That's all we care about. We don't care about things look pretty, and how somebody says how it looks or how it is to us, and we can project to the nine ethers and the quasars, and what we're worried about is enhancing our consciousness and enhancing the people around us. And by doing that, you can create things, like I said before, that the scribe created. You could be in positions like AJ's in, and you can have the confidence to lead like Arcad. So I don't know if Arcad has anything else he wants to address.
I don't. If anybody got any announcements they would like to make, um, then we'll close it out. But I definitely would like to invite you back, Will I Am, next week. We couldn't get on. Sorry about that. Kept spinning, but definitely join us next week. Everybody, tell a friend. Join us Monday, Metal Netta Mondays. Join Saba Tahuti on Friday for the podcast. Of course, check out our website, Teachings of Ma'at. Support those good brothers on there. And of course, our Sunday class. This was an excellent, excellent class. Excellent breakdown by Scribe. Looking forward to good brother AJ's breakdown next week. And if anybody doesn't have anything else, then we'll close it out with the affirmation. Want to put the affirmation up, Scribe? Unki Ma'at, Un NS, Nintet Oset Ma'at,
Set in
Min
my
Hapapet
men.
Ma'at, Her and Kukui per Ikut. I live for Ma'at. I exist within her. I do not speak in the place of Ma'at. Every day I advance towards Ma'at. My being is surrounded in darkness. I come forth as conscious light. Thank you, everybody, for joining us. You enjoy the rest of your night or day. Hotep Ma'at. Pass the mic to anybody else who wants to close it out.
Hotep Ma'at. Peace and love to everyone.